Gindo's Games!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Gindo Okeshi here with another League of Legends Champion Guide. Okay, so today we're going to talk about another tank. But not just any tank, no. Today we're going to talk about the tankiest tank, the kind designed almost entirely to take hits and nothing else. This is Rammus the Armordillo, aka the second worst pun in the game. If you're ready for an okay time, then it's time to learn how to Rammus. Rammus is a tanky jungler. This is what he excels at, and virtually the only thing he's good at. He can moonlight top, but that's not really his thing. This is because his kit demands that he stands there and have things hit him over a period of time, which you just don't really get in the lane. But what he does extremely well, with amazing ganks, the ability to draw aggression, and to take absolutely absurd amounts of damage. He's a weird little spike ball, somewhere between an armadillo, a turtle, and a hedgehog, and his abilities reflect it. His passive is Spiked Shell, and it's very simple. Rammus adds 25% of his total armor to his attack damage. That's all there is to it. Building like a tank is encouraged, and because of this, Rammus frankly never has to build damage, ever. The Armadillo's Q is Powerball. He decides to do an okay impression of Sonic the Hedgehog and curls into a spin dash. He rolls in this ball form for up to 7 seconds, accelerating faster and faster the entire time. When you hit an enemy, they and any other units in their immediate vicinity are knocked back for a moment and dealt magic damage, followed by 3 seconds of being slowed. You can cancel the Powerball manually after a brief cooldown, which is there just in case you double tap the button on accident. While in Powerball mode, Rammus cannot auto-attack or use puncturing taunt, which is something we'll get to in a bit. Powerball gives Rammus amazing initiation powers, especially with early game ganks. He can appear out of nowhere and dash into enemies at insane speeds. Not only that, it's simply good for traveling quickly across the map. It's a one-point wonder, as you get the full effect of the move speed with just 1 point in it. The damage and the slow increase with level, but there are much better things you can do with your skill points. Put 1 point in it at level 2 and max it out last. Rammus's W is Defensive Ball Curl. Can you guess what that does? He drops down on all fours, revealing only his hard, spiky shell. While in Defensive Ball Curl, he gains a massive amount of bonus armor and magic resist, becoming nigh impossible to kill, even by turrets. While this effect is active, he also deals magic damage to his enemies each time they auto-attack him. And that damage scales off his armor, so yes, it makes itself more powerful. And yes, this also stacks with Spiked Shell. How good of you to notice! At max ranks, with a whopping 120 bonus armor and magic resistance, this grants him 30 bonus attack damage too. For those keeping track, that's better than handing him a pickaxe. Activating Defensive Ball Curl immediately ends the effect of Powerball, and, contrary-wise, activating Powerball ends Defensive Ball Curl. This is important to note, as there will often be situations where you have to choose which bonus is more important. Regardless of all these rules regarding it, Defensive Ball Curl is your primary jungling tool, defensive tool, and damaging tool. The damage reflected allows Rammus to kill whole jungle camps at once while focusing down the large creep with his buffed up auto attacks. The stronger this is, the faster his jungling gets. In team fights, this lets you ignore damage and even dive towers for ganks. Damage? What damage? And as I mentioned, because of Spiked Shell and the return damage from them attacking you, Rammus can deal a surprising amount of damage in a fight. While jungling, you should get your first point in this at level 1, a second point at it at level 3 or 4 for sustained jungling, and max it out second. As awesome as this skill is, we have something yet more crazy to fill first. And what might that be? Well, with all these crazy defenses we've got, why should your enemies attack you, especially once they realize how little damage they do? Well, that's where our E comes in, Puncturing Taunt. Rammus whispers insults about the enemy champion's mother, inciting rage enough that they will auto-attack him for a brief period and drop their guard, reducing their armor. Taunting the enemy is a powerful tool, effectively silencing them and forcing them to chase you if they are out of range to attack you, or simply stand still to do it otherwise. But Puncturing Taunt? At max ranks, this baby lasts for a full 3 seconds and drops their armor by 30. This can force your enemies to fight an extremely poor engagement, extend your ganks, or simply distract their carry from attacking the correct target. With a taunt that long, you can drag enemies from halfway down the lane back to your tower for it to hit them. While all this is awesome, don't forget that you can target jungle creeps with it too. The taunt is pointless, but the armor reduction is still quite useful, even reducing them to below 0 armor. Did you know that having negative armor increases damage dealt? You do now! The only disadvantage to puncturing taunt is that its range is quite short, but that's what the other tools are for. Your basic combo is Powerball in to knock them back, Taunt to force them to attack you, and activate Defensive Ball Curl to make those forced attacks deal damage to them and less to you. Oh, and as I mentioned earlier, you can't cast Puncturing Taunt while in Powerball mode, but there's no need to really do it when it's a crowd control effect on its own. As you might have guessed, we'll be maxing this one out first. Take your first point in it at level 3 or 4, as the other two are more useful in the jungling initially, and buff it up as quick as you can. And finally, we reach Tremors, our Armadillo's ultimate. Yes, apparently man-sized armadillos can create miniature earthquakes. Who knew? He rumbles the ground around him for 8 seconds, dealing magic damage to all enemy units and structures. Yes, he damages towers with it too. Tremors is yet another self-targeting semi-stance ability. He can turn it on to just add more damage to a fight, and it doesn't affect his ability to do other things. He can even turn it on while powerballing without stopping. It also has a base cooldown of only a minute, so feel free to use it whenever it seems advantageous at all. This is great for pushing lanes or adding a bunch of damage to a team fight. Toss it onto your basic gank combo as you arrive with the Powerball for extra damage. With all I've described, you can bet you should max this out as soon as possible. For runes, I recommend Armor Penetration Marks, Magic Resist per level Glyphs, and Flat Armor Seals and Quintessences. While your abilities deal magic damage, most of the damage you deal comes from auto attacks, and it will help you out with the jungle. The armor provides you with more durability and more damage thanks to your passive. The Magic Resist Glyphs are just good all around, especially on a tank. Masteries for me, and probably for you, are 0, 21, 9. Being sure to pick up all the jungling related stuff, as many toughening things as you can get, and some bonus move speed for even faster ganks. Summoner spells are also pretty easy. While I talk about this in items, watch the background for basic jungling. If you are in fact jungling, take Smite. Flash is also quite good, as it allows you to get that one last burst of distance if you need it, or even to position a Powerball better. Flash over a line of minions for a surprise the enemy won't forget soon. Other options include Exhaust when the crowd control from your Taunt and Powerball just aren't enough, and Ghost because you weren't fast enough already. Items are pretty well outlined on your recommended items list. Riot's done a great job with these new ones in the shop from what I'm seeing. Start with a Hunter's Machete and 5 health potions to get through the first clear of the jungle, as usual. Your first goals are boots, and turning that machete into a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. I really can't emphasize enough how amazing this item is on Rammus. When complete, it gives you free armor, aka damage, and tenacity, meaning you don't need to get Mercury Treads for that anymore. All that health and tankiness will make you extremely difficult to kill in the early game and let you tower dive for ganks quite well if need be. My recommendation, if you can help it, is to prioritize getting the Giant's Belt before getting the other components, as it will provide a more immediate buff to you. Those boots could be a number of different things. Ninja Tabi, as suggested, add to your tankiness and provide you with more damage. Boots of Swiftness are an option if you feel that your enemies are too quick and otherwise have too many slows. Boots of Mobility make your ganking potential extremely high, crossing from lane to lane exceptionally fast with Powerball. These two are what I consider your core items, and everything else is optional and icing on the cake. You will rarely have to build damage on Rammus, as all of the defensive items will actually give it to you for free. Aegis of the Legion is listed as essential and is a great item for Rammus. It and its upgrade, Runic Bulwark, provide a solid boost to you and your allies while you sit in the middle of the fight and not die. I do not consider it required, as there are often other allies on your team who can and should take it as well, but keep it in mind. Sunfire Cape provides you with armor and health, as well as, of course, damage. Randuin's Omen does the same, and that active is so sweet when you turn on Defensive Ball Curl. That Warden's Mail that builds into Randuin's Omen could just as easily become a Frozen Heart, giving yet more tankiness and staying power while weakening your foes. Frolin's Mallet is that one instance where I mentioned that you might actually buy some damage, but you're mostly here for all that health. And the slow. If they were escaping your ganks before, it certainly isn't happening now. Speaking of ganks, since you're likely roaming all across the map, consider buying a ruby sightstone for health and free wards. And of course, we shouldn't forget about magi resistance. Runic Bulwark provides a ton, but if that and defensive ball curl aren't enough, go for Wit's End. Rammus actually scales pretty well with attack speed, and the bonus damage is nothing to scoff at either. If that still isn't enough, somehow, Banshee's Veil is your friend. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Thornmail at all. It does stack with defensive ball curl and gives you a ton of damage in addition to the armor, but really, only grab it if the AD is out of control on the enemy team and the armor shred isn't too high. Speaking of armor shred, remember to keep that in mind when thinking about your damage. Spiked Shell works off your current armor at any given time, so anything that reduces your armor, such as the armor reduction on Black Cleaver, will decrease your bonus attack damage as well. Powerball does stop working when you collide with the first thing that isn't on your team. This includes enemy champions, minions, monsters, and even Shaco boxes, so remember to go around them if you can. As I mentioned earlier, flash over. When using Powerball to gank, if you have a moment to pause, start charging Powerball before dashing out of the bushes. Your increased speed will give the enemy less time to react to your sudden appearance. In a teamfight, your job primarily is to initiate. A good Powerball into a taunt will allow your allies to crush that single target, preferably their carry, and allow them to clean up the fight from there. If you can't initiate, and/or the fight becomes one giant cluster of destruction, turn on defensive ball curl and trimmers and start punching things in the face with your face, taunting the carry whenever possible. Rammus is also quite good at saving his allies from horrible situations. He can body block quite well, and Powerball and Puncturing Taunt combine to pull aggro from your allies very efficiently. Rammus is an amazing tank and an awesome jungler. Gank constantly, protect your allies, and taunt your foes to lead your team to victory. If you have enjoyed this guide, please let me know by hitting the like button, or mention in the comments below if you have advice or questions. Subscribe for future content, including champion guides, gameplay guides, and other possibly not lol content if you want. Till next time, I've been Gin, and you've been watching me talk about a video game. Transform and roll out!
Every time that I walk in the lane, all the girlies and the honeys always screaming my name.
Oh, Rammus!
Okay. La 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 la. All the summoners wanna be summoning me, but what the summoners don't know is that I don't come cheap. Okay. La 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 la. Hashtag Rammus swag.